Well, it's the weekend and it's coming to an end, but it doesn't mean we have to end things here. Now, as you all know, it's finally the end. We conclude with the N-1 victory. So the real question is who will come out as the winner? Will it be, of course, Kaito Kiyomiya, who in fact could be the very first ever GHC heavyweight champion to win the entire tournament, or will it be Keno? That is something we're definitely going to see. But I think many of you are probably expecting this one. We are going to be reviewing, of course, NXT No Mercy. So we do have a lot of championship match taking place. We have the NXT women's and men's North American titles on the line, tag team titles, the women's title, and the NXT title. So basically we have a lot of things that are taking place. So we'll be going from A to Z on this entire thing. And then of course we have a bit of a short news updates for all of you guys. We'll tell you what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not big, but it continues to grow. But we also do discussion videos, like of course we talk about various topics like wrestlers, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also of course do more news updates in case certain information was not unable to be on this episode. We can put it either on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also keep track on real-timing news updates if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also got the United Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have set aside, it's time to hit the highway. So let's begin with our very first review, and this is from Japanese promotion Pro Wrestling Noah. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Another round robin tournament in the summer has come to an end, and of course there's one that just been started, but that's another review for another time. As you know, the N-1 victory has finally ended. We have, of course, the main event is a very interesting one, and that's until we get there. Now, let's begin with this, with the start of the show all the way to the end. Our first match, we have a four-way match. We have Super Crazy versus Taisuke versus Alejandro versus Hajime Ohara. Now, nothing too significant about this, but one thing is clear and common about all four competitors. They are, of course, junior heavyweight competitors, and I'm sure that their way are trying to determine who will walk out, hopefully, to build momentum to be the next challenger for the GHC junior heavyweight title. That's my assumption, but we cannot deny of the talent that all these guys have. But Alejandro was the one who picked up the win with a corkscrew splash onto Super Crazy, giving him the win. Next up, we have a junior heavyweight versus heavyweight, Junta Miyawaki versus Masa Kitamiya. Now, some of you may think, okay, The junior heavyweight has his speed as his advantage. True. But can he withstand a guy like Masa? I mean, Junta Miyawaki, no denying he is good, but fortunately he hasn't reached the potential to hopefully to raise up the stakes to be in the conversation for a title shot. But Masa, on the other hand, he has been one of those wrestlers we have paid attention. He was able to pick up the win when he applied a Saito suplex, and just like that, it was over. Next up, we have an interesting six-man tag match. We have Kai Fujimura, Rohei Oiwa, Titus Alexander. They take on Yu Owada, Jack Morris, and Oka Sasaki. Now, nothing too significant about this match in any way possible, but nonetheless, some wrestlers are very impressive. And I think this is Titus Alexander's possible last match with Noah for the time being, because as the N-1 victory closes, he was the one who picked up the win when he applied the big ugly onto Owada, and just like that, walked away with the win. I'm sure he's going to cherish these moments in the N1 victory for the rest of his life, but I can't wait to see him. He will be here in my hometown in San Diego for the West Coast Pro San Diego Showdown, so can't wait to meet him. Next up, we have tag team action. We have, of course, Yoshitatsu, Kazuyuki Fujiwara taking on Manabu Soya and Tavon Heights. I have to say it was a pretty good combination seeing Tavon Heights and Manabu Soya. These two are two of the strongest wrestlers. I mean, Tavon Heights has brought a lot of hype and a lot of energy since his debut with Noah, and teaming up with a real strong competitor like Manabu Soya. And of course, Tavon left this Noah with a very strong belly to belly suplex onto Yoshitatsu, giving him the win. Next up, we have Yoshi wrestlers making their presence. We have Takumi Iroha, Miyuki Takase, Sandra Moon, and of course, the Great Sakuya, Great Muda's daughter. They take on members of the roster of Marigold, consistent of Kizuna Tanaka, Bozilla, Kyuki Amari, and Miku Ano. Now, of course, as you know recently, we know that last time four members of the Marigold roster defeated certain members of the group that normally makes their appearances in Noah. Takumi, the Great Sakuya, and I think Miyuki Takase were amongst them, but however, they lost, and now this is more of a bit of a redemption, despite that the players that they faced last time did not get it. But however, there is common factors. Bozilla, strong competitor, of course. Everybody knows that she has to be the much viable threat within Marigold. I'm sure that is something that's been considered many times. But luckily, it was, of course, the running knee by Takumi on Miku to pick up the win. And of course, all hell broke loose once the match was over. So it got out of control. Next up, we have two of the strongest competitors facing off. Yoshiki Inamura taking on Josh Briggs, who I'm also assuming this will be his last match, returning back to NXT. Strong, powerful match. I mean, we have seen Josh. There was a moment where he was about to toss Inamura to the audience, but he just played them, like having a little bit of fun with the audience. I thought that was cool, But at least he picked up a good win when he applied the lariat from hell, and just like that, it was done. Next up, we have a very interesting type of match. We have Dragon Bane and his brother Alpha Wolf. They team up with the most devious and vicious person in Dragon Gate, Shun Skywalker. They take on Luis Mante, and he teams up with another set of brothers, the Wagner brothers, Galeno del Mal, and his older brother, Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. So that is a very interesting thing. We know that, of course, recently we saw the Alpha and Dragon team up to face against the Wagner brothers, but they didn't win that one, I think. But it was great to see how things are becoming. But, however, if you know this, there's some history between Mante and Luis Mante and Shun Skywalker. It was, of course, Skywalker who beat him for his mask for being the most devious and despicable person on the planet. But Montes was the one who picked up the win when he applied a sit-down powerbomb onto Dragon Bane, and just like that, won. Now, our next 4 matches are in fact for title matches. First one, we have the GHC Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Members of Team Noah, Mohamed Yone versus teaming with Akitoshi Saito. They take on, of course, Naomichi Marufuji and Takashi Sugiura. Now remember, Saito is set to retire later on this year. Mohamed Yone thought, it's now or never, dude. Let's do this. And it happened. I thought the match was pretty great. I mean, I'm sure many people would love to see Saito pick up gold before he left. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case because it was Sugiura with a headlock onto Saito and picked up the win. I mean, it was fun. I'm sure this is a great moment for Saito. He can take home with him till the end of his life. Next up, we have the GHC Heavyweight Championship. Daga gets another opportunity against Amasuka. Now remember, Amasuka actually defeated him not too long ago, and he wants to reclaim what's his, and of course is his throne, and that was the whole point. Now of course, Amasuka might have been prepared for anything, but Daga is determined to win back what was rightfully his, and that's exactly what he did. He even applied the Diablo wings in order to pick up the win, and that's how he walked away, becoming a 2-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. Now our next match is the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. We have, of course, the Reuniting Rattlers. It's an old faction that happened years ago, and it consisted of many people like Daisuke Rada, Yohei Yamada, and of course Tadasuke, but everybody went their own separate ways. But recently we've been seeing Tadasuke and Yohei teaming up, and then of course people thought the Rattlers were coming back, but apparently no. But now it's 100% confirmed. Now that they're back, and Daisuke Rada, who's retired, came back also to show support. So they face against Shuji Kondo and Eita. And the Rattlers once again shown their statement that they are one of the most dominating junior heavyweight teams ever, and that's exactly what happened, because it was the headache by Hayata that picked up the win and walked away. So they become brand new tag champions. However, the Rattlers always consisted of 4 people, but due to the fact that Harada was unable to participate, he decided to pick a suitable member that would join him, and I forgot his name. It seems like everybody else, but I don't know. Hayata's like having thoughts about this, but we'll see how that goes. Our next match, our main event, is a doubleheader. The finals of the N-1 victory, but also the GHC Heavyweight Championship is on the line. These two guys have faced off countless times. Keno versus Kaito Kiyomiya. So basically, this is one of those things where, okay, they're even part of the same team, but that is another conversation for another time. But dude, they did not hold back no matter what people would say. Keno is always strong, so is Kaito Kiyomiya. But however, Kaito Kiyomiya surprised everyone when he applied a move only one person has ever used it a lot, and that is, of course, the much recent retire of Yoshinari Ogawa. So he was surprised too that he applied it, an arm drag into a pinfall, and that is how Kaito Kiyomiya won, and he is the first ever GHC heavyweight champion to win the N-1 victory. So where do we go from here? Well, I didn't get the chance to see the rest of it during the promo since it was translated, because I fell asleep. But I was so tired, so I had no time for it. I'll get more information on that for all of you and see what happens. So right now we are done with Noah, so let's move on with NXT No Mercy. Okay, NXT No Mercy. Now, fair, I did not see the kickoff show, but let's just get into the main card. So maybe that's the real thing that many people want to see. But let's begin with our NXT Tag Team title match. We have, of course, the former champions Nathan Frazier and, of course, Axiom. Now, many people probably would assume that, of course, Chase U would remain with the tag belts. I mean, they have become a stronger team, stronger unit that they ever been before. But unfortunately, that did not happen. I mean, there were some great moments where we thought, okay, it's done right there. No, we were going back and forth on that. But it was, of course, the more in how to say, the much more cohesion between both Nathan and Axiom that allowed them to, of course, pick up the win when they did um, the um, the Spanish Fly Phoenix Splash, then the Phoenix Splash, of course, combo onto Andre Chase, allowing them to regain the belt. But however, the most interesting thing that happened, but the most shocking, Rich Holland turned his back on Chase U and beat the crap out of everyone. But Mr. Chase ended up being, of course, the one with the more um, brutality. He went through a table, through the commentary table, and of course, Dia Hale cannot believe what just happened. It's like she has people that turn their backs on her left and right. It's always been well known. I mean, she already did that with Jay Z Jane and Fallon Henley, various other people that are willing to hurt her. So I'm not sure. It's like I don't know how much she can actually take, but hopefully she'll be fine. Next up, two former friends, teammates, brothers, Zachary Wentz versus Wesley. Of course, we were all shocked what happened, of course. Wesley turned his back, blaming them for being alone, and now he's willing to put the whole thing behind him, hoping to move forward, but it did not do any good for him in any way possible. But man, of course, Wesley's determined to break him. He almost got away with it when he was about to use the chair on him. Thank God for Trey Miguel, who stood by and made sure that nothing happens. And of course, we saw a Canadian destroyer outside the ring, and then the UFO cutter. Of course, Zachary Wentz winning, getting a bit of measure of revenge for what happened the last time with these two. But the question we ask, is this really the end between both Zach and Wes? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Wes costs him the TNA title at some point, but we'll see. Now, our next match is the NXT Women's North American title. Ever since Kalani Jordan has been defending it, she has been showing be a proud champion. However, Wendy Chu has had her eyes set on this belt after Tatum Paxley failed to capture it. And now it's like Wendy Chu has been haunting her, playing mind games. Of course, the one thing Kalani Jordan has to pay attention is the chokehold, which is one of Wendy Chu's main arsenal. She did that, but it did not work. But Kalani Jordan was able to overcome every obstacle and picked up the win with the leg split moonsault. And just like that, she picked up the win. However, while Wendy Chu cannot believe she lost, apparently a little measure of payback came back her way, and that is Tatum Paxley. Remember, Paxley lost to Kalani Jordan for the title, and now Paxley gets a measure of revenge for what she did to her. Our next match, we have the NXT North American title, Tony D'Angelo versus Obafemi. This match was really, really tough, very strong. Of course, Obafemi determining to show that he is the dominant guy, and of course, D'Angelo proving that he is the Don of the NXT brand. That is something, of course, that he is determined to prove and go all the way, no matter what it took. But of course, it was Obafemi went two different power bombs, a standing power bomb and then a sitting power bomb that allowed him to pick up the win and walk away with to retain his belt. Next up, we have the NXT Women's title, Jada Parker versus Roxanne Perez. Jada Parker, as you know, has grown significantly, proven how dominant she can be. But however, Roxanne Perez, being the prodigy she is, doesn't believe that Jada Parker is the one who is the rightful person to take the belt from her. However, we have seen on numerous occasions how many people have tried. Roxanne Perez even tried to take her out on the back, try to brutalize her as much as possible, and then finally she pulled up the Pops Rocks and picked up the win. When she thought she had the whole world, well, the world came to her because, surprise, surprise, we've been expecting her, and I think many people are happy about it. Julia made her a debut, well, not in-ring debut, but a debut in NXT, staking her claim. Roxanne Perez acting like she saw a ghost or something like, but she was holding on to the title like dear life. But the real question we ask ourselves, will Julia be the one to remove the belt from her? Well, that is something. The entire time Booker T just shut up because he knew this is not good. And I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised that if Booker T tries to talk to her, telling her you cannot be intimidated by her, but Roxanne Perez will probably ignore Booker T. I have that distinct feeling that he's going to try to mentor her to deal with it, but nonetheless. Our next match we have, of course, is the NXT title. Trick Williams as a special guest. And surprise, surprise, we always see. As you know, Ethan Page always has a tendency to remove the referees so nothing can happen. Of course, another referee showed up, but luckily Trick was able to stop that in time. But all hell was breaking loose when it comes to it. But unfortunately, Ethan Page, for being the despicable, vile garbage that he is, low-blowed Joe Hendry, and then later the Eagle's Edge. Trick did not see it, and then he pinned him, and of course you can tell from the language of, not speaking language, but the body language of Trick, he's not too happy with this, how it turned out. But unfortunately for Trick, things didn't go his way either, because once again he was attacked by Pete Dunne actually, to once again this feud between them continues on. So the only question is, who's going to be the one to stop Ethan Page? Well, we'll see about that at one day. So right now, I think we are done with everything. Let's move on with news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with, of course, upcoming events from the promotions. Now, as you know, we are starting the month of September. We have the upcoming House of Glory show, Chicago, taking place. Another name has been dropped to make an appearance, and this is not his first time being there. The Sniper of the Sky, Robbie Eagles, is going to be there too. Now, there's going to be an interesting match by Pro Wrestling Noah on the 14th of September. It's going to be Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ryohei Oiwa, and now it's been told that this will be Oiwa's last match with Noah. So basically, this is going to be interesting to watch. Now, as you know, West Coast Pro will be here in San Diego for the San Diego Showdown on the 21st September. They announced Brett the Threat will be here. So if I have any subscribers here in San Diego, just letting you guys know. And then finally, Deadlock Pro Wrestling announced for their Super Battle event on October 13th, Masato Tanaka will be there. Now, Sareee has, Scott Edwards has announced Saree's September schedule. So anybody who's a big fan of Sareee, this is her schedule going on throughout the month of September. Well, we just will be entering, of course, where she will be doing the Chapter 5 of Sareeism. There's that. She'll be participating with Mighty Gold on the 8th of September. She faces against Mai Sakurai for the Dreamstar Grand Prix. And then on the 10th, she will be in a tag match for Seedling. She teams up with Mirai to take on Unagi Sayaka and Hiroyo Matsumoto. Then back to the next 3 more days with Mighty Gold. No, 4 more days with Mighty Gold for the Dreamstar Grand Prix. The 14th, she'll be facing against Chiaki. The 16th against Miku Ano. Then the 20th, she'll be facing Misa Matsui. And then on 21st, Kizuna Tanaka. And then, of course, we have the 23rd, again with Dreamstar. She faces against Nane Takahashi. And then back to Seedling, where she faces Unagi Sayaka for the Beyond the Sea Championship, which is going to be interesting. Then she'll be on the 26th for Strong Style Pro. She faces against Tiger Queen. And then finally back to Mighty Gold for the Dreamstar Grand Prix. She faces against Bozilla. So basically that's the entirety of her schedule. So stay tuned for that. Now, WWE legend Victoria, Fightful Select reports now that she has signed a Legends contract with WWE. So basically she'll be making appearances there. So that's pretty much what's going on. Now, this is information that many of you know. I kind of forgot about this little report. You may have heard about what happened to Nikki Bella, or should I say Nikki Garcia. Her husband was arrested for domestic violence and all this and that. But this is a little statement that was later foretold about what happened. And I'm sorry that I did not report this one sooner, but this is what I found. Now accused of a felony domestic violence, himself called 911 after he allegedly battered someone in his home. Minutes later, he get a call back and told 911 never mind. TMZ has learned. Sources will acknowledge to tell TMZ that the alleged victim never called 911. It was Artem who apparently panicked over the injuries of the alleged victim sustained. He called in the emergency around 8:30 a.m. As reported, the paramedics and fire trucks were dispatched and were en route. When 911 dispatch got another call again from Artem, tell dispatcher to call the whole thing off. We were told that the paramedics and fire department turned around and went back to the station. It's protocol for the police to still respond. And in around 9:30 a.m., we were told police arrived and observed the injuries of the alleged victim and triggered an automatic arrest. Artem was taken into police station and booked on felony corporal injury to spousal and cohabitation. We're told that Dancing with Stars had an option to pick up his contract for the next season, but this week the show chose not to pick up the option. That puts him on a bad mood. Yeah, I get it. I mean, if Dancing with the Stars don't want you back, they'll need you. I get it. I mean, but it's not an excuse for him to take it out on Nikki. To me, that's like what people say, a dick move or a coward move or a selfish, disgraceful move, however you want to call it. So if he did something like that because Dancing with the Stars decided not to pick him up, well, I'm sorry. Life is like that. There's nothing we can do about it. But my thoughts and prayers goes to Nikki. Hopefully their son is okay. But hopefully for Nikki that she thinks about what's best for her and her son at this moment while this is happening. So we'll see about that. Now, as you all know, Yoshinari Ogawa retired, but with no ceremony or press conference. But he was recently at the N-1 Victory Finals, and he basically, they asked him this question. He said that due to doctors stopped him due to the neck injury, and he was asked, "Do you regret it?" And he said, "Yes, I wanted to continue wrestling a little longer. However, Noah's younger wrestlers are growing up." So it makes sense. He knows that you have to give a chance to the younger generation, and I don't hold him to that. But yeah, so that's what happened. So that's pretty much it right now, what we have. So we'll just call it a day. Okay. So hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet. I haven't seen Marigold's Dream Star Grand Prix yet. That is still on my list. But as we speak, we have Sareeism Chapter 5, and of course the Unagi Sayaka self-produced show again. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see both of them or maybe one. I don't know. But it will not be on the next episode, that is for sure. But we'll see how we will progress moving forward from here on out. But for now, we'll just end things right here. And then I'll tell you guys that I'll see you guys on the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.